The face on Mars, from what I was taught, I never actually got to land on it that I can recall. I wanted to, but the face on Mars, from what I can remember, as most of the pyramids on Mars, were built by the the ancient human Martians, uh, who have been there a very, very, very long time. I'm not entirely sure. It's not entirely clear whether we're a breakaway from them or they're a breakaway from us. But Mars does have an indigenous and human population. The language is essentially Sumerian, although, or at least it used to be. It's what Sumerian would be now had it survived antiquity. You know, uh, because languages do evolve always. But
Well, the thing is, I can barely understand a word you're saying because you speak American, and
well,
obviously that's evolved from Old English. Are you
yeah,
suggesting that maybe Sumerian would just be a bit like that after 3 or 4 thousand years?
yes, exactly.
As we English, i.e., I'm from Northern Ireland, say, you know, it's I think it's two people separated by a common language.
Yeah,
Does that
something
make
like
sense?
that. One thing that is interesting to know about it that the archaeologists in the mainstream here have been unable to figure out because, again, the language didn't actually, here on Earth, the language didn't survive antiquity, is that it's actually a tonal language. Um, there are 12 tones. It's an extremely difficult language to learn. I did learn it at one time, and I can still pretty much read it. There is a lovely lady in the SSP community called Christy Campbell who does a lot of like auto writing type of thing,
Yeah.
and she does a lot of it is in ET languages, and occasionally it is in Martian, and I can read it when she writes it out, even though I can't speak it anymore.
Is it like Polynesian? Sorry, there's ain't the ancient seafarers. I think the Polynesians,
Um,
as
I'd
opposed
have to go and listen to their languages. Some
because
I'm not.
of the flattish face.
Yeah, they do look somewhat like that. They do have a like a deep olive skin color or dark reddish brown in some cases. They're taller than us and more muscular than us because of the lighter gravity. Um, and their features in general are exaggerated because of that. But they're still quite recognizably human, and on a DNA test, they show up as the same exact species as us.
And do they exist still? I mean, does John Carter's Mars is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah, yes. And they do still exist. There's not very many of them. There's, I think, at the last consensus, there's about 70,000 of them left.
That's a very low level to keep going.
Yes. A lot of them were killed during the Black Terror, as it's called. The occupation, the German war on Mars. The occupation is may still be ongoing. The war on Mars that um, the
That's
Germans and Americans waged from 1945 to 1990. Interesting that that war is almost an exact contemporary of the Cold War.
right. Are there reasons for that?
The war?
No, the reasons why they're similar. I mean,
I wonder that. I wonder that because it's
I mean,
pretty big coincidence.
Michael Shrimpton
Swallow.
has done a book about the secret history of the DVD. That's the secret German intelligence. Carreras.
Okay.
He took over, and he was very, very careless because he died several times.
Well,
And John Shrimpton's book has got a picture of him with George Bush on the cover
mm,
because both are quite elderly and both were very, very close in terms of how the Bush legacy was actually
right,
German secret intelligence.
right, okay,
Bearing in mind how Bush was
interesting,
head of the CIA and all that Area 51 stuff.
right, interesting.
So that might be why there's a correlation there because you had operatives on the ground who were American but actually German, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that fit?
Well,
Would that fit with a?
yes, and I know that the German breakaway absolutely has people inserted into life here who are aware of this, who are aware of their lives out there, and that they're here to spy, and they're also inserted into the militaries and such, uh,
I
and
mean,
into
the
the
only person,
intelligence agencies.
the
The
only,
average person, even the average so-called high-level spy in the CIA, has no idea about this stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But
But in Bases One, Lisa Williams, who
mhm,
she was, you're talking 1994, she was being taken by the Greys in East London, and ultimately led me to Barry King, which led to my research on this in the first place. But she was one of the other people, very, very few people who knew about the DVD and went to see David Bowie's daughter in Poland,
hmm,
I think, because there's a connection there through David Bowie.
and okay.
Does
I
that make
remember.
sense?
I have a lot of memories of David Bowie from the programs.
Because that's why he had those movies and Spiders of
Yeah,
Mars, all that stuff.
yeah. Ground Control to Major Tom, Black Star, etc. Yeah. He was definitely an insider. He talked on whatever that talk show was about directed energy weapons.
Was that
Uh,
Art Bell?
no, no, no. It was some like just a regular TV talk show about like the host brought up. You've been researching.
Would have
What
been one of the BBC ones, Parkinson BBC, or an American one?
it, it was a British one. I can try and look for the clip. He was talking about how he had been researching and he had found that there were patents relating to weapons which could kill every not directed energy weapons, sonic weapons, I believe,
Yeah.
that he said could kill everyone in that audience with a vibration in seconds and
Wow, that must have,
such.
that's a
And he
to get that clip would
this
be very interesting.
yeah, and he was talking about this in the 1980s, and there were already patents for it. And let me explain a little something. Whenever a patent is released for something, that means that the intelligence agencies have had it for 30 years, that the military intelligence has had it for 50 years, and that the off-world breakaways have had it for 90 years. So it's already very outdated by the time it is released.
Which is why we're getting maybe some stuff released now that's been around a while.
Yeah,
I mean, even knowing
yeah.
about things like the TR3 or 8 or something or whatever it's up to now.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a very interesting. Is that picture behind you? Is that something? Is that just a?
It's a picture my grandparents got in Colorado.
Right.
And this here is a rather magnificent image that my aunt drew in high school. I am
Wow.
terrible with this camera angle. I am a professional photographer. I should be better at this.
Yeah. But it's very interesting. No,
There.
it's
It's a Salvador Dali study.
aha.
Yeah.
Good. It's a good fake. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not a fake. It's her drawing scenes from his life.
Ah.
That, yeah. My aunt was quite the artist, as it happens, or is. She isn't actually dead. That's a whole story.
Oh dear.
Um,
Have you said the wrong
yeah,
thing?
she was removed from existence a couple of years ago because of my whistleblowing work. Um, but I've seen her since in during while I've been on operations. So
Actually, John, your audio is going up and down a wee bit. Do you have a bit of a volume control or anything, just in case there's
um,
I lost a couple of words there. It
and also I know that there is still quite a lot of stuff underneath Bletchley Castle or Bletchley Park rather. Where of course all the code cracking was done during the war and
yes,
such, but there's alien stuff going on many levels below that
that's
there
Milton
still.
Keynes. That would be very close to that. Is Milton Keynes?
Okay. But so we can start with London because these are the places I remember the most.
Okay.
I can remember specifically three domes underneath London. One of which is run by Kruger Mercenary Company, and it is beneath St. Pancras Station. What district is that in?
It's the eastern part of the centre of London, St Pancras.
Okay. It's underneath that. It is one of the headquarters of that company. I have on my wall, incidentally, an image of what their logo looks like, or at least one version of their logo. Apparently, there are other versions, and I've gotten quite attacked for using the version that I used because a certain person didn't confirm it, and apparently this person is the end all be all. So they have headquarters according to the signs that I remember posted around at their various bases. Ganymede, London, Cape Town, Sea of Serenity, Eris, Neu-Berlin. Um, London one is mostly offices. They don't do a lot of technological development there. There are a lot of offices there, and it's where most of their operations that they carry out on Earth in secret are planned. And we can go into a little bit of what Kruger Mercenaries LLC actually is. It is a mercenary company, hired sometimes by the elite and most often by the off-world breakaways. Their operations are usually involved in the I completely lost what I was going to say there. But what they do is they print out a clone of an asset. Um, I know there are Kruger people who remember me being one of their assets. I don't particularly remember that. I just remember visiting their bases and working with them or hiring them as part of other factions off-world. But I've heard enough people who remember me being one of them that I trust it. So
Would you have been near a base near the Holborn Tube Station complex area? It's one of the deepest.
that might be another access
That's
point to it.
that's in the London Underground, which is south of
Yeah,
that region, not by a huge distance.
that might be another access point. I know all of these places do have multiple access points. And I remember going down there into the offices, and they had a number of guards on duty. It was very fancy. It was all like Carrera marble floors and walls with like classical style paintings on them and such. And mostly I remember having to go down there a number of times to pick up papers. Uh, the guards, by the way, Kruger assets
I
in
think,
general.
but on your iPhone or what you're using?
I'm gonna take my headphones off.
Yeah, because it sometimes we lose it completely. It's getting a bit heavy to. Okay.
Here, is that better?
Yeah. Speak again.
Okay.
Speaketh.
I speaketh unto thee.
That's great. We'll go on to. We'll keep that. Yeah, we'll keep
All right.
it. Great. Brilliant.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
All right. Guess these headphones aren't actually as good as I thought they were. That's
I think
great.
are they gamer headphones?
Yes.
Well, dear, I changed them. Yeah,
Yeah.
the microphones. It depends. Anyway,
Yeah, I spent $29 on those things.
$29.
Yes.
If you'd spent $30, I would have taken them back. But you're just on the edge of it.
Oh, well, shit.
Okay.
At any rate,
Good. This
I
is
can
very
explain
interesting.
what yeah, I can explain what Kruger assets look like. They look like some kind of a cross between the Terminator and the Borg. Usually they have at least one eye replaced with a lens, and these lenses are capable of switching at will into infrared or X-ray, or on the really advanced models, they can even see interdimensionally. Um,
That would have been heavily polarized. Some kind of polarizing apparatus.
yes, yes. They have parts of their body replaced with metal armor that is literally welded through the skin. It's extremely painful to live with that. Their arms are often taken off and replaced with Gatling guns sometimes, or with big swords, or maybe both. They frequently have their feet replaced with like I'm sure you've seen those prosthetic feet
Good.
that are like
Yes.
that are like curved metal.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, those things. They have their legs replaced with those because it greatly increases running speed.
Yeah. There's
Uh,
some. Yeah. It's the like blades. And
yes,
they've got a spring on them and they've got grip and yeah.
yes, and they can change the shape of those at will into like skiing, into skis if they need to. If they happen to need to ski, uh, etc. But inside their head, it's still a normal human brain that is with emotions and the ability to feel pain.
Yes, that's the key thing that you don't notice the difference really in terms of you just want to move something and it moves. It could be a prosthetic arm or whatever, but it's from the brain point of view, it doesn't make too much difference.
Yeah, but they have all these parts that are welded crudely on, and they cause great pain. And according to someone I interviewed yesterday, they don't put you to sleep while they're doing this.
Well, why bother?
Yeah, exactly. You're not a person, you're a piece of equipment. And so, yeah, that's what Kruger is. People like to think they're the good guys. I don't think that people who do extreme cybernetic surgery on people while they're awake and uh, do it so that, first of all, so that these aren't people anymore and such, and to also are doing all of this on people who either are trafficked children or were trafficked as children. I don't think any of those people are the good guys, but
I'm going to
to
say
each their
something.
own.
Doctor Who, the Cybermen. Bearing in
Mm-hmm.
mind we're going back to the '60s on that,
Yep. Yep.
and if you look at the early versions of those, it you can see it's like a human being wrapped up in bandages, but there's stuff stuck on them.
Yeah, or you could go even further back than that to Franz Lang's Metropolis in the 1920s.
That was definitely they knew something. They were saying things there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the city in that movie incidentally looks exactly like the capital of the German breakaway uh in Alpha Centauri. So that's an interesting thing.
Using Tartarian technology.
Perhaps. I'm somewhat skeptical of the whole Tartaria thing, but because I don't remember it from any of the time travel operations that I've done. But
There's a very interesting guy done some work on that called Guy Anderson, and a lot of things happened in the 1850s.
okay,
There was an actual flag. Basically, Tartaria equals Mongolia in
right.
round figures. Very, and that's all was all rewritten. But anyway, let's not get distracted.
Well, I'm not opposed to the idea of it.
Yeah.
It just it's not what I remember at all. But
Okay.
who
Yeah.
knows? Um. So where were we?
We're Kruger
Yeah.
crude
Right.
cyborgs.
Right. Oh. Who the Kruger company is run by is somewhat controversial. Uh, or at least I'm going to make it a little bit controversial.
Oh, we wouldn't want to
There
break the
was,
habit of a lifetime.
yeah, it was made by, it was invented by Walter Kruger, who was a rather infamous Nazi general, although he's generally considered by historians to be a bit less extreme than a lot of the others. Um, because he operated primarily in Russia and so on, so they weren't in Russia long enough to do all that much. Uh, they did plenty, but they didn't get weren't there long enough to kill enough people. So
Well, I think
perhaps,
Stalin seemed to have, tidied up that score. A good old
yeah,
German secret asset, Stalin,
yeah, yeah,
along with Mao Zedong
yeah,
and Lloyd George.
yeah. So after this after the war, he allegedly killed himself, except he didn't. He was taken off world, and a clone put in place, and the clone killed himself under MK Ultra mind control. And Walter Kruger founded Kruger Mercenaries. Now, at some point, Walter Kruger died off world, and the company was inherited by Gabriel Kruger. A lot of people think that the Gabriel Kruger who inherited it was Walter's son. He was not. Uh, Walter Kruger did have a son who was named Gabriel Michael Kruger. The company, however, was inherited by Gabriel's much younger nephew, or cousin rather, Gabriel Stephanus Kruger of South Africa. And by the way, this Gabriel Stephanus Kruger can literally be found on a genealogy website called geni.com.
I'd be
If
interested
you
if he was any relation to the local MP here, Danny Kruger, for the Conservative Party. He's used to be the MP for this area until they changed the boundaries. Nothing suspicious.
interesting.
Nothing suspicious there.
No, totally not. Nothing to look at here. So
Moving
that's
along.
what, yeah, this is what Kruger is. I can send you the logo of theirs that I remember, and if you have the technology at your disposal, you can splice it into somewhere in this conversation.
I'm sure we
And
can.
so, at any rate, I remember being at this base at least once. Um, it's purely visual, but I do remember being around in that area. And I know that there weren't technological developments happening. They have a Stargate there, which can access various places, but that's not how I got in. I got in through St. Pancras.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Now that's very interesting. Keep going there. There's a lot of stuff around that area.
I know there is. There's a lot of stuff all over London. London is kind of the center of a lot of things. Um,
Do go on.
well, I can tell you that London is one of the cities where it is authorized for aliens to live undercover using holographic cloaking or whatever else. There's not very many cities on Earth where that sort of thing is authorized, but London is one of them.
Is that because it's too busy, or is there a
Yeah,
level of mind control which prevents people from noticing, or is
well,
it strategically just more convenient?
I guess it's because people don't look at other people there. Whether that's actual MK Ultra mind control or just societal mind control, I guess that's kind of up to
I think
interpretation.
it's just don't be silly, just move along.
Yeah, pretty
Stiff
much.
upper lip. Who do you
Yeah,
think you are, young man?
yeah. And plus, it's a very, very multicultural place. So, someone looking a little bit off or a bit different from anyone you've ever seen is not something you would notice.
And it is the home of the BBC. Nothing controversial here. Let's keep moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I have memories of that there are aliens living undercover in London using holographic cloaking, or ones who pass enough for human that they can walk around and no one will see them. Um, which there are quite a few ET species that fit that mold. And I have memories of having to go in and assassinate them on a number of occasions. Um,
Do go into detail.
I remember usually you would just brush against them in public with a needle. You would be given an image of what their cloak looked like,
Yeah.
and then what species they were underneath, and you would just brush past them in public with a needle, and then they would die, and you would very quickly cover them with a blanket or something to get them out of sight. Because with
Is
most
that puncturing uh, a method of bumping people off is you you
no,
puncture
not usually.
the lung cavity and
Usually,
then they bleed internally and they take a few steps before they just
not usually. What we would usually do is we would use a highly concentrated salt syrup, which there is a thing that has been developed by the intelligence agencies, which is a highly concentrated salt syrup where you put like several cups worth of salt. Oh, wait, you don't have cups. Half pints. A cup is a half a pint.
right,
So
okay.
you would put like a pint and a half, boil it down, and then add a certain chemical. Boil it down to a few tablespoons, and then add a little bit of a chemical that stops it from separating out as it cools.
Right.
And so then you have an extremely concentrated salt syrup, which will cause very, very quick death that is also very difficult to trace.
Because it dissolves into the system normally.
Yes. The alkyl Within seconds after death, the alkalins in your body begin breaking down the salt in your body so that decomposition can begin. And so we would use that. If they were cloaked, we would have to, it was more complicated. We would
Now when
have
you say
to
cloaked, is this a
using
projected image or are they given, prostheses or, covers or, bits would fall off or whatever?
um, uh, holographic covers
So that would
that they
immediately
have.
fail.
What?
That when they died, that would immediately fail. Is that right?
Usually, yes, because it has a neural interface. And so we would have to kill them alone. And that was more complicated. That would usually mean breaking into their home, or portaling into their home and taking them out.
Yes.
And We used all sorts of methods with this. Sometimes it was just plain guns or enhanced guns, because your a 38 revolver isn't probably going to do much against a great big alien. So we would have usually plasma weapons, or we would have blades and cut them down. Now these battles were often quite difficult because they were psionically gifted ETs against us, who were very psionically gifted. Don't get me wrong, ultra soldiers. But we were. It was still tough at times, but we managed it. And I can remember killing a number of species. I remember killing a species that they look pretty much like grays, but they're first of all their skin is bright red, and they have long black hair that they usually put in dreadlocks. Um, I can remember killing regular grays. I can remember killing several kinds of reptilians, never Draco, because Draco cannot live among humans.
Ah,
Uh, their their psionic output is so extreme that it will kill a normal human, without them intending it to. By the way, it's not their fault. It's just that their harmonic resonance, I guess, is at such an extreme level that it overpowers a human brain. Hybrids can be around them, but uh, baselines cannot.
are those the white uh, Draco Prime or what? How would you?
Yeah, the Royals. By the way, they're not all white. About 98% of them are white, but there are some green, there are some that are red, and there are some that are black. And also the warrior class ones also have that same pretty much level of output. The worker caste do not.
Well, that's what James was brought in for to do the kill with reptilians. Was he could take the he was able to be able to do the job
Yeah,
when
he
it
had
was
his
needed.
special gun with the dragon carved on the handle and everything. Yeah. I've just recently been re-listening to his old stuff, so yeah,
Yeah.
I know his story pretty well right now. Um, yes, I can say that is accurate. Um, yeah, I do remember James very well. I'm not gonna, because I haven't even met him yet, I'm not going to go into too many details, but I do remember him very, very well.
Well, he has told his colleagues he's not the same person that he was when he went to jail.
I would hope so.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
I would hope that people learn from their mistakes. Um,
Well, that's all ahead of us. I'm interested in
yeah,
the London bases.
what? Mentioned what?
Well, about these facilities you mentioned in London.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Okay.
there's meant to be one directly under Parliament. You wouldn't be surprised at that. And
No. I know that there's one directly underneath the palace. Although it's not really much of a base, it's more of a transit location
yeah,
where they have a Stargate there that the royals can use and some people in their circle can use. I know about it because once I was made bodyguard to a certain uh, German politician. Um, do I want to name this person?
you can tell me. Nobody else will hear.
His name was Jorg Haider.
All right.
Yes. He is a quite controversial, or was a quite controversial, pretty extreme right wing, either German or Austrian fella who I don't think he was ever quite elected chancellor, but he tried quite a lot, and he was very, very influential um, within uh, the the movement at the time. And so there was a period where I was made his bodyguard briefly for when he went off world. I don't remember what faction I was with when this happened, but at some point that happened, and he used this gate underneath the palace, and
You're
I have
talking
had
Buckingham
confirmation of,
Palace.
yes,
Yeah,
Buckingham
yeah.
Palace. And I've had confirmation of its existence from another person who shall remain nameless. But I do remember using it. We went to, I think he only wanted to go to some tropical vacation place. Oh, and we also had to go to a diplomatic meeting with some various ETs that I can't talk too much about because I don't remember very much. It's purely visual, you know, which is a big difficulty that I come across with my memories.
Could you give some vague sort of? Do they look like this or look like that?
Yeah, there were ones who looked like stick bugs, uh, and it was quite a few different insectoids. There were stick bug types. There were ones that were kind of like not a rhinoceros beetle. Those beetles with the great big pinchers on the front.
Are they stag beetles?
Yes, a stag beetle. There were ones that looked like stag beetles. There were short, pretty short little reptilians that were like a golden yellow color. They were actually very pretty. Um, and they looked pretty gecko-like. And there were several kinds of grays there that you couldn't tell apart to look at them, but they sat at separate tables during this council meeting, so they were separate in some way, and so on. And there was a lot of papers passed around that I wasn't allowed to see, but they were meeting with a number of political figures from around the world.
Such
There was
as
there. Well, I did see Bill Clinton there. This was before he became president. This was in the '80s, probably.
yeah.
And I saw um, they all had to have flag patches on their left breast pocket. So there was a gentleman there from Indonesia. I'm looking at the flags. There was, I believe, there was a Soviet Union gentleman there. There was a representative from France who was the only woman, and there was an Israeli, and there was. I think there was, yeah, there was someone there from the UK as well.
Is that because they would have had the indigenous UK United Kingdom separate country flags as opposed to Union Jack?
No, they had a Union Jack.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just
Um,
wondering why that was so difficult to remember.
well, because I'm having to look into the memory and look at each individual person and try and see their flag patch, and also remember from my own memory bank what each flag was that belonged to each country, you know.
Yeah.
I'm one of those nerds who I look at who memorizes the flags of different countries. Most Americans would not know this, by the way.
Well, I mean, am I being unkind if I say most Americans don't need a passport because they never really leave, not even going to Canada?
No, you're not being unkind.
Well,
Um,
let's move on. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Don't want to alienate your audience.
No, I think that would
Um,
be just a silly thing to do.
yeah.
I
um,
mean, we're not talking about Australians, so it's okay.
okay, yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah.
I said this.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're not talking about Armenians apparently. So,
Armenians, yeah.
yeah, stay away from those guys.
Yeah.
Um, at any rate, so these are the ones I can remember. And they were all lined up and they were kind of surrounded by the ETs who were sitting at the tables there, and there were papers being passed around, and we, the bodyguards, were standing behind whoever we were representing. And-
Yeah. It's got
Oh,
flames coming out of it. I just want to check if the flames are still there. Just
that
keep talking for a
sounds
second.
a bit expensive.
Oh, very expensive. Very expensive. I'll be a second. Okay? Keep talking.
Yeah. So we were surrounded. We were specifically told not to look at any of the papers that were being passed from the ETs to the reps, the representatives. And there was, it was, it felt a bit uneasy. Not tense necessarily, but uneasy. And it was, yeah, that's kind of an interesting, brief, but interesting memory. Uh, and we were there for several days. We were put up actually at a hotel on whatever planet this was, or not really a hotel, more like barracks on this base. And I do believe this was off planet because when I look into the memory, I think I get a feeling of like the gravity was lighter. So this was off planet somewhere, who knows where. And that's kind of my memory that of the access point, the access point, the gate below the palace and where it goes. Um, there's another base in London. It's accessed right off the Thames.
Okay. Are you
That
suggesting
you
perhaps near the what we call the MI6 building?
somewhat,
The one they blew up
although
for in James Bond.
yeah, somewhat, but not quite. The access point is you go down onto the river and you take a boat down to pretty close to the London Eye,
Yes.
and yeah, and there's these like sea walls or river walls that go
Yeah.
down into
There's
the
one place near there which has actually got quite a large entrance to it.
yeah, and this kind of a door opens in the side of the concrete and you go through a canal tunnel, uh quite a distance actually in your boat until you reach a dock, and then you get off and there's an elevator with a code and a biometric scanner, and then it takes you down, 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 down. This one I think goes down the deepest of any of the ones I remember, incidentally.
So that would be in the
And
south. That would be the south side of the Thames then.
yes, yeah, and it goes down to a place called Shaw House. Have any of your other guests ever mentioned Shaw House?
No, are you talking SHA Shaw or a
S H
SHORE?
SHAW.
Okay.
Yeah. They are part of like the secret elite, basically the secret 13 families that we don't know about. Um and what they are, my memory down there is that they have a biosphere where their house is at for one part.
Now, what do you mean by a biosphere? Is it like a pocket dimension place where it's separated?
Sort of. I don't know if it's a pocket
Well,
dimension
it's
per
a wrong,
se.
maybe a wrong
It's a
term.
it's a massive cavern that has where they have like a holographic sun and a sky, and they have ways of simulating rain, and there's like fields and a huge house, and they have gardens and all sorts of stuff.
Is this sort of
That's
like Doctor Who style, where it's relative dimensions, or is it
probably
physically a big?
probably its relative dimensions. Unless there are secretly like volcanic tubes underneath the UK, which I guess is technically possible, but I personally I think that it is a thing called basement universe technology, is the proper term for that. Which yes, like the TARDIS. Um, I need to stop saying.
Yeah, we could cut the whole thing down to about 5 minutes if you stop saying
I need to stop saying and I need to stop saying so, and I need to stop saying and yeah. These are habits I need to break. It's a
Well, it gives
struggle
you
out.
thinking time, and yeah,
Yeah,
certainly I wouldn't do a thing like that.
any fucking way. There was this place down there, and they had this huge house, and it looked, interestingly enough, it looked quite a lot like Highclere Castle, um, which is the house from Downton Abbey, uh, or the yeah, it's the house that they called Downton Abbey in the show, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, anyone who is that's a thing a lot of people can look up, but it's much bigger, and it's where the Shaw family lives. And inside, I think they also have basement universe technology because they have a wing of the house that is museums of different planets, where they even have simulated gravity and all sorts of things, where it's like you're stepping into that planet and the walls are decorated with artifacts that they've brought back. It's quite impressive, actually. Quite impressive. And I know that there are people who have actually been programmed or trained and conditioned for life on off planet in this house. I'm not going to put too many words in these people's mouths, but I have heard this from people. Underneath this house is a genetic modification laboratory where they genetically modify humans, but they also make basically gene modification emulsions. And I have this very specific memory of being in this huge warehouse room down there, and they were taking bottles of perfume, um, both of all different brands, both uh, and of all different price brackets, from Chanel number 19 down to Chinese knockoffs that you would get at a gas station.
shocking,
And what?
dreadful.
Yes, very dreadful.
Yeah.
And they were putting these gene modification emulsions into it and then sending them out into the world. And so I suspect that this is a big part of what's wrong with the population. Or maybe not a huge part of it, but it's definitely a part of what's wrong with the population. Um,
So you would just spray this in a crowd or what?
or people would buy it and just spray it on themselves.
And that would
And
change them into what? Whatever.
perhaps make them more subservient or dumber, or
But this would be
perhaps activate
self-applied. It would.
perhaps
I mean, it wouldn't be.
what?
It would be
Sorry.
self-applied. You'd voluntarily. do this to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good way of skirting around karma. Um, or you'd be, or it might also at times work as like an MK Ultra thing. You know, scent can be used for MK Ultra, like pheromones of certain ET species can work to activate a person or things like that. There's all sorts of things that could be done with it. And these were, by the way, I noticed, I do remember these were pretty much all women's perfumes. Um, Now, maybe there was a separate warehouse that I don't remember seeing that was colognes, but in this warehouse, it was all women's perfumes. So it's in some way part of controlling women uh,
So
through their
was that
perfume.
were you there to get an assignment of some of that material or what?
Yeah, we took some of it, and I still can't remember where we distributed it to, but yes, we took some of that. Mostly, I was there to actually be shown around this house and be introduced to the members of the Shaw family, the main ones. Unfortunately, none of them are people we might recognize, but uh, although I have heard some people say that Taylor Swift is a Shaw, I can't confirm whether that's true. I think I'm more subscribed to the theory that Taylor Swift is a clone of Xenia LaVey. Uh, because they look pretty much identical. But who knows?
Well, Tim Refat might have something to say about that. He's pretty hot on those A-listers.
Okay. No idea who Tim Refat is, but cool. Good for
Okay, he's
him.
got a Total Intent Manifest.
Okay.
MI6 Mr. Magic had a hissy fit and a tantrum with the Rothschilds
Oh, okay.
and the UK tax authorities.
Oh, well, you know, some people deserve it, I guess.
Well, he follows on from Colin Bloy
Ah,
and ultimately Alistair Crowley,
ah, okay.
that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. So I do remember being shown around this house quite a bit. I think I was a child in this memory. Uh,
I certainly
I
I'm
was
just
not.
the actor Shaw, Robert Shaw, a very prominent actor. Was he a Shaw?
Uh,
That came to mind.
he might be. Probably he is, but not from this. The
Okay,
main,
right,
the ones who live in the house.
yeah.
Which there's only in this period, and I don't know what period this was, but there was only four of them. There was the grandfather and his son and the son's wife and their one daughter who was at the time about 17. And there were I believe I was a child in this memory. I don't think I was older than about 9. Um
So, in what capacity were you brought there? By parents or what? Or
by a handler who literally had me on a leash around my neck with
right?
a button on the leash that if I went too far or whatever, I got a shock.
Yeah.
This was not a pleasant experience overall. There was a period in my childhood where I had a lot of experiences like this, where I was just being shown places
So they
and not
needed
even,
you under control, but they needed you fully, compos mentis and able to
yes,
learn and see, but not to, don't touch, look, don't touch,
yeah,
that kind of a thing.
yeah. I think it was kind of a thing of like, if you play our game really, really well, look at what you could maybe become someday. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also showing me just the people and the places I would be working with when as I ascended through the levels of my career.
Yeah, that seems like control, learn, and watch.
Yeah, yeah. And so there is another base that I can talk about, which is underneath Bloomsbury. Um, and also it extends. Also, you can also access it through what is that place?
Acton.
No, no, no,
I
no.
need to get my
Infield.
phone out. Yeah.
Infield. There's also an access point to it there. It's quite a large place. That is an alien base, and in it there are a bunch of different biospheres for different aliens to live in. There's kind of a giant concourse. It reminds me actually of Babylon 5.
Yeah.
There's a giant concourse you walk through, and outside of each one, there's an environment suit if you should happen to need an environment suit to enter. And there's restaurants serving alien food and all sorts of things like that. And this was actually where I would go to get assignments for the aliens who I needed to go up to the surface and assassinate.
Uh huh.
Yes. But I spent a lot of time. I'm a very curious person. I wander a lot, and no
That's probably
one
why they needed
stopped.
to keep you on a leash.
Well, this is later. This is I was an adult in these memories, and so no one exactly stopped me from wandering. And so I went to these some of these different biospheres. It was
This is in London.
interesting. Yes, underneath it. Perhaps this one I would say is the most likely one that is in some kind of pocket dimension. Um, or perhaps at some point you pass through a gate and you don't realize it and you're off planet somewhere at this base. But what's going on?
I'm just looking at trying to get it on the on my other computer here, so I could sort of see what
Oh right.
it. Yeah, the
Okay, there's
Bloomsbury, London.
yes, in Bloomsbury, in one of the parks you go to and you step behind a tree and you have to go there at a certain hour. There's only a certain hour that they'll do this, and of course you have to call in ahead. But you go to one of the parks in Bloomsbury. I found it once. I can't remember it now, but you step behind a certain tree, middle of the night. They open the gate, and you step through, and you're down there. Or you can go via an elevator in one of the tube stations in Enfield. Um, where you step in and you would have a code on your phone or your which of course in these programs the phones they give you are not regular phones, they are also quantum computer connected things. You would type in your code and the elevator drops you down into this place.
It's a fairly big complex. I'm just trying to get images. Let me fiddle here. Anyway,
All right, so this is yeah, it is quite large. It's one of the more interesting places on Earth that I can remember being at. And so I would often wander while I was there because no one stopped me. And I would go into these different biospheres. Excuse me, sorry.
yeah, but that strangely, I'm getting lots of adverts, which is distracting.
Ah, ah.
Oh God, I can't. Bloody hell. Anyway, we'll just ignore me while I trying to get rid of this stuff.
All right.
They're trying to sell me all sorts of wonderful goods and diamonds and things like that.
Oh.
Anyway, don't just let's ignore me.
All right.
Oh, I
So
can't
I
get.
went into these different biospheres. I went into one that was very tropical, but you couldn't breathe in there, and there it was highly chlorinated environment, and there were frog people who called this place home, or at least they called this place a place where they were stationed. I went into one where there was blue plants everywhere. You actually could breathe in that one, and it was that was incidentally that apparently the planet where the species I mentioned earlier that look like bright red quote unquote grays that have the black dreadlocks.
Right.
That's apparently what their planet looks like because that was their biosphere. Um, there was a Tausatian biosphere where the gravity was 3.5 times ESG. And so if I had not been an enhanced soldier, I could not have entered there because my spine would have snapped under my own weight. Um, and I didn't spend much time in there, but the the Tausatians, they look pretty much like the Vulcans. And because of the extremely high gravity on their planet, and they are both extremely strong, and they have extremely strong bone density. So when they'll lightly swat you on the face and it'll snap your head off your neck.
That would be very rude and very
Yeah.
inconvenient.
Yes, so they don't generally even touch you because they're afraid of killing you. Just
Bit
by
like
touching
Land
you.
of the Giants, just touching a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the opening episode of Battlestar Galactica, just going to the baby and.
Yeah. That kind of strength is what they have compared to us, and they'll beat up a Royal Draco in nothing flat.
Aha.
Yeah. So even the Draco kind of don't interfere with them too much. They are Tau Ceti is part of the Draco Empire, but the Draco don't interfere with them too much. They just come, collect their taxes, and go.
Very nice. Have a nice
Yeah,
day. Cheerio.
yeah,
Metaphorically, yeah.
yeah. That's pretty much how they are. But they look like the Vulcans. They're usually about 5 to 5.5 feet tall, olive complected, dark hair, green eyes. Is the general look. There are other ones who look somewhat different in various ways, but that's the general look. And they have pointy ears. Um, but if one came down here and they had some plastic surgery so that they had ears that looked like ours, they could walk around among us and you'd never know the difference.
I notice actually there seems to be a fashion now of young ladies having ears like that. They stick them on and they have they sort of as
Hmm.
if maybe they're oh that's just somebody wearing a little bit of a makeup job.
Well, maybe those are Tausatians. Maybe a few of them are. You should walk up to one and ask sometime.
But don't shake their hand.
Yeah, they'll break you.
Yeah, that would definitely be.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, that would not end well.
So this is just to recap. This is in the Bloomsbury area. I've picked up
Yes.
on that. I've been trying to get this. Oh, I'm just getting hit with so many adverts that I can't. I mean, I could potentially show that. It's just, that's what I'm seeing. Quality diamonds. Actually,
Oh,
now that I've got that, I can get rid of this damn thing and get to that. There's Bloomsbury London Hotels. Anyway, we'll go back.
yeah.
If you wanted to book a London hotel near Bloomsbury Square, it's available there on Expedia and all good hotel booking sites.
Well, I don't think I will, because isn't that a rather posh area?
Uh, well, well, yeah, I'm sure you'd fit in, young man.
Well, well, I don't have money though, so I
A lot
probably
of people
wouldn't
walking
actually.
around that area don't have money,
Mm,
but
okay.
I'm sure if you just stiff upper lip, just
Find a nice young lady who will put me up for the night.
I think probably you want to find a nice. We don't want to go into this; it'll lead to tears. Midnight Cowboy, I think
Okay.
the movie. I don't know, but anyway. Yes, moving on. But
Yes, moving on.
no, but we're dealing. These are ET established bases, and they have huge areas. It's not pocket dimension. It's what's the term again?
Caverns. I said huge caverns. This one, the one underneath Bloomsbury, is so enormous that I think it probably is a pocket dimension. Um,
But how do they
of
keep
some.
that working? How do you keep it running? Because that was one of the problems about Holborn Tube Station. They did have a base there. It was run by Greys, but it's
I believe. I believe they
its
have
force field failed.
humongous crystal batteries, um, which are running a lot of these systems, that can last for decades on end without needing to be replaced. Which that's very much alien technology.
Sort of like dilithium crystal stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And they might also possibly be using salt water. That's as a component as well, and possibly also mercury. All the same sort of things you would use to power a starship could be used to power a large base like this.
Are you talking red mercury or am I
Yeah,
out of date?
red
Oh,
mercury.
what's so special about red mercury?
Interview Matt Tracy.
Okay,
Yeah. I am not an engineer. He is the engineer.
okay.
Uh, but from what he has told me, from what I understand in my non-scientific mind, is that there is a chemical or some undiscovered element that you add to mercury that makes it red, and it stops it from turning into gold when it is exposed to high amounts of energy or when it is spun centrifugally to generate energy. I
Right,
think.
right. Okay.
I don't want to look like too much of a dumbass, so I'm not going to
Well,
say
no, I
anymore.
can see roughly where you're going on that. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. So that's how that works. I just said so again, didn't I?
Uh,
Um,
no, we've cracked that joke. I think you said it again. Technically,
oh,
then we're
shit.
just getting silly. Now, what other bases? I mean, those are very elaborate bases.
Yes.
What's the key feature you want to get across about that in central London? Nothing happening here. Do move along.
Something like that. I assume it has to do with the ley lines intersecting, and also to do with treaties that go back to probably the time of the Roman Empire, which allow for the development of them, or which allow that area to be centers of alien activity.
Now, I have to say that on the pictures that I was seeing when I was trying to get some pictures, it did feature a lot of Roman type architecture columns.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of this stuff goes back to the Roman Empire, uh, which was a shift in ET alliances when the uh the the Egyptians. I don't know why I'm blanking on names right now. That happens when I start getting too far into my memories. They start blanking words.
Okay.
Um,
I think it's just a
the
sign of genius.
the Egyptians were very diverse in the amount of ETs they had. You can, when you look at their pantheon, you can see that there's all sorts of species that they had. We don't even know the names of some of their gods.
Yeah.
And some of them weren't even worshipped as gods. There was just, you can just very clearly see it. And I'm hoping in the next couple of years I can make a trip to Egypt. I actually have a tour guide, an ET tour guide, who does specific tours to ET sites um,
Well,
around.
I'd be very keen on talking to somebody like that because we're trying to get a sort of a British ET sort of tour set up.
Yeah. His name is Dr. Khalid El Sayed, um, I believe is his name. And I can send you, if he is still on Facebook, I can send you his profile.
Okay.
But he does both personal and group tours of Egypt to different sites that are known to have ET activity, which includes the sites in what is called Middle Egypt, such as Beni Hassan and Amarna, which are not on most tourist radars at all. Because you have to go with a tour guide to be there, and usually most tour agencies don't want to bother with the paperwork.
Right.
Uh,
There is a lot of that paperwork, and you don't mess about with that.
no, you don't. I mean, I will tell you, technically, if you just want to hop on a train and go down there and then just walk up to the site, there's actually nothing stopping you. But, if you're caught, you will probably be deported back to one of the cities where they do allow tourists.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that why they had the whales? Did all these massive whale bones in the middle of the desert because there used to be a sea there, and they can see this.
No, that's
No.
more to the west
Yeah.
of Egypt. This is still along the Nile, but it's in the middle of the country. It's called Middle Egypt.
Right.
Uh, yeah. And Beni Hassan and Amarna and what's the other site? Near the city of Asayut. At any rate, but when Egypt fell, the diversity of ETs on selection for notice became much more narrow. And the Roman Empire became pretty much exclusively Anunnaki. And so when that happened, there was a shift in treaties and a shift in where things were allowed to be set up. And I believe that London or Londinium was one of those locations where,
Thus the city of London,
yes,
and that's why the city of London is so important.
yes, that I believe is why London has been allowed to have these bases under it. There are other locations I've moved because I need to have a better view of the window here, but at any rate, London. So London is very important to this. I think we've about covered it after what, an hour and a half of talking.
Yes.
Hmm.
So
This
is there?
shows you how deep this entire subject really goes if it takes an hour and a half to cover three locations in one city.
Well, certainly looking at the structure of buildings near Parliament, huge columns, structure
Mm,
of underground things where there's an awful lot of columns holding up an awful lot for what it
yeah,
actually does in places.
yeah. That's a telltale sign that there's something under there.
CLC1, is that, does that recognize, maybe near Parliament, or
It rings a bell.
it's I mean, the politicians are bit of a dirty lot. They don't really need too much. You just got to keep them happy and tell them what to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, you're quite welcome.
I think we had a bit of a rough start with the headphones, but I think it was intelligible. I think I'd, if they're good headphones, I'd use them. Yeah, I think I have a pair a little bit like that. The mics aren't that good.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can also see if I can maybe tweak the mini. I'll look into that. Um, so for part three, I think we mentioned we would talk about my various my personal story and go into like describe some of my alters and what they have done,
Yeah,
and
just
then
yeah.
we can that can conclude our series for now because I don't want to become your only guest.
Well, I do have other guests. I've interviewed another new lady called Beverly Rhodes.
Yes, I know. I've heard what people have been saying about her. I've been meaning to get in contact.
Right,
Uh, yeah. And no, I'm not gonna snipe your guest. But I probably will interview her if she'll have me.
right.
Um, yeah. So,
She seems to be coming. Well, the interesting key there was somebody, a lady, Sophia, who knew she had a very hard time, had to go on the run, so Thames Valley Police couldn't get her and stuff like that. And eventually, when her family grew up, she talked about the baby farms of Southern Africa, and Beverly's the only other person who knows the details of that.
right. Okay.
So that's a different side of the whole thing.
Yeah, I have another South African who is on my roster who might know about that too. So
Yeah.
I'll ask. Yeah.
So
Um,
until next time, so I suppose we're getting a bit clear to Christmas. You've got your Christmas decorations up. Do you do that sort of thing?
no, I don't. This is just the wallpaper that is in my kitchen.
Well, I wasn't
Um,
referring to your wallpaper, but do you have any plans for this? I'm about to go
oh,
to
sorry.
Prague in a couple of days. They have a exopolitics conference there this weekend
Where is that?
in Prague, Czech Republic.
Oh, lovely city.
Yeah,
If you don't talk about the human meat factory that's underneath it that I have been to, um,
I better
but just
just
ignore that. Uh,
the old sort of
well,
human meat factory thing.
it's something like that. Yeah,
That old human meat factory
yeah,
thing.
yeah. The elites don't just chop up a person and eat them live. They like their meat processed or chopped and formed or, gourmet. Um,
Are you talking about Hotel? That series, something like that. Was it
hotel.
Hotel?
Oh, hostel.
Hostel, yeah.
Uh, that's not far off. Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. So yeah, there's a meat factory underneath Prague. Um, don't go too near the that really famous bridge at night, late at night after everyone has gone to sleep. That's an actual warning that I'm giving to anyone who might go to Prague, by the way. That's not me being sarcastic. That's an actual warning.
Okay.
Um, and so good for you.
Well, I better make
Plug.
sure I'm tucked up in bed safely after having some Czech beer.
Yeah. So plugs. I have a new Substack. I'll send you the link to it.
Yeah. Yes, I think I've seen that. You appear on that quite recently. We're talking.
Yes,
We're talking 19th of November, 2025 here. So we've
yes.
worked to dates things.
Just just a few days ago, I finally made a Substack because I have gotten too many things from YouTube. They gave me a strike, an actual strike for nudity on a thing I did discussing the show Altered Carbon, even though you can go and watch those scenes on YouTube. Apparently, if you're discussing them in whatever in an analysis of the show, then that is just too much. Um, and I don't do censorship, and yeah, I
I
finally
think that means that you're getting a little bit too politically incorrect for them, young man. I
apparently
certainly never went through that process before they deplatformed me. He said angrily.
yeah. So I'm getting ahead of the bullet train, and I am moving my entire body of work to Substack. Most of it's already on there.
Yeah.
On
So
my
where do people
channel,
see your
and
other work? Just to hear the people sing and that sort of stuff.
yeah, yeah. And so my video library from my channel is on my Substack now, and all of the videos that go up on YouTube will be on Substack until I have enough subscribers on Substack, and then I'm going to pretty much quit YouTube. Um, and where was I?
No, that's
But my
serious. I
YouTube,
mean, to lose your stuff is a big deal. My
yes, it
stuff,
is.
it took a long time to find it. Hard drives
Yeah,
don't survive just sitting on a shelf, by the way.
I know. I have things backed up in at least three places each.
Yeah. Well, I think we've had that conversation before. Yeah.
Yeah. So my video library is on there. You can link that below. I have a PayPal if you feel like you would like to support my work or support my efforts in escaping the abusive situation I'm in. So I'll send you that as
Well, why
well.
don't you put that in one email and then I can just copy and paste it and that would be good.
Yeah, both of those links.
Yeah, whatever. All in one go. Just boom.
Yeah, okay. And on Tuesday, no, on Sunday, I am premiering an interview I did with Drago Reed, which is the start of a hopefully rather legendary series. This first interview is called "And the Writer's Name Was Death, and Hell Followed with Him." Some people think that might be a bit melodramatic, but I like it,
No,
so
don't see any melodramatic terms there at all. Well, Drago
all
have
right.
created a whole Friday afternoon, the 12th of December, for him.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And it probably still won't be enough because he is so full of material, which is why I
Now,
am
did I hear a slight pause there after full of?
full of material, I said.
Fine, yes.
Yes. Um, which is why I am interviewing him so much. He is,
I think that's a good thing.
yeah, he is a new legend, I would
Yes,
say.
yeah.
And people need to,
It's a big deal
if you,
for him to
if
come to
if
England,
anyone,
and if anybody in England or the British Isles or this side of the pond want to see him, Friday the 12th in Pusey is your opportunity.
yeah, uh, if anyone in your audience does protection magic, do that in his direction because he
Yes,
is very, very targeted and he
as I
is,
am.
yeah, yeah.
And I get a little bit annoyed about that sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And on that
So,
exciting note, yeah,
what exciting note.
well, I was sort of,
On that exciting note.
yeah, that exciting
And,
note.
and also the fourth volume of my book drops on the 16th at 2 p.m. Central Time. That would be 8 p.m. British. the rest of you heathens can figure out what your time zones are.
Now that's been
I don't
very,
cater to
very
you.
detrimental to people who don't know how to work the 24-hour clock, let alone
Sad.
in different countries.
Sad.
Yeah, I
So
think
wait, hold on.
I've told
If
my
it's
local
hold on,
bookshop
if
to get
it's
it. So I don't
hold
have
on.
I try to get I don't get things from Amazon. I get somebody else to get them from Amazon, and then I have a sticker saying I didn't buy this on Amazon.
Okay.
Somebody else did.
Okay.
My bookshop.
So wait, 8 p.m. British. If that's on uh, wait.
Actually, the guy Jake Muller, got those hardback.
Good. Those are excellent. Those are the best ET books
Now,
list. ET.
I brought these to okay.
Yes, those are the best ET species books out there, people.
Right, so I brought these to Swansea, and I got them from the Devices Bookshop, which is a really great place. And just to show you that I didn't buy them on Amazon, that's the sticker.
Okay.
But you get them on Amazon, but I didn't buy them on Amazon. I had them bought for me by Devices Bookshop. You get they'll get anything for you here in the Devices Bookshop.
Well, all right. Maybe when my book is finished, maybe they'll stock it.
Yeah, well, they do, and what's more, the lady there that runs it goes and gets. There'll be some incredibly new, rare book that'll come out, and she'll place it in the shelves where the other books are on this subject, and I'll go and do a thing called buy it.
All right.
So she knows I'll do that. She's very good.
All right.
Joe Batchelor at the Devices Bookshop in Devices, Wiltshire.
All right. Well,
So
so
I showed that.
I
I showed. Yeah. Okay. Those books very good.
Fourth one drops on December 16th. And the first 3 volumes can all be read on my Substack. I'm not even promoting where you can get them elsewhere because I'm trying to draw as much attention to my Substack as possible. So
Yeah. Okay.
that about wraps it up for me.
Okay. Good to see you, sir.
All right. Bye.